G'day punters, welcome back to Rapid Fire. We've got John Walter from racingwatch.com.au helping me with the Sydney stuff, and Jason as a party has kindly offered his time again to go through the All-Star Mile, which we're going to pretend is a Group 1 in Melbourne, but certainly has the price tag being the $5 million prize money. Of course, the show is brought to you by Top Sport, who are a terrific corporate bookmaker in terms of being able to get on at a fair bet at a reasonable price. So make sure you've got an account there if you haven't got one already, and we'll talk about them again during the show. Okay, so we'll start off with, if you like, John, with the All-Star Mile in Melbourne. Flemington, how do you see it playing, Jason?
Well, I've got it playing as a fair track. Pretty usual for Flemington. It's out 8 metres, so they're protecting the ground in there. I expect it'll be a few off will be the better ground, given there might be a little bit of markings on the inside. But Paul, have you got data on 8 metres recently?
I'm just about to bring something up now that you mention it, Jason. Okay, so hasn't been a lot of meetings, only been 4 other meetings in the last 3 years in this rail position. The last meeting was 6th of November last year, which would have been Oaks Day, I think, would it?
Yeah.
Does that sound right? Does that sound right?
Might have been final day, actually.
Was it? Okay. Anyway, the inside lanes were a disadvantage that day. Prior to that, the meeting on the 5th of June, but that's obviously in winter. There was a little bit of compromised lanes there on the inside. I suppose, if you look at 5 metre rail last Saturday, how did you think it ended up playing? It seemed
pretty fair. Look, I'll be honest, with Victorian racing, I do my form basically pretty much on fair tracks. Caulfield, hard deck, hot day, I'll favour on paces.
Yeah.
But it's different in Sydney. You're always going wet to dry, and I think the biases play a lot more of a factor. Melbourne, I basically do my form, and then I adjust during the day. I monitor the first few races, and if I'm seeing anything, then I'll adjust accordingly. But I think that's the best way to do it. Otherwise, it'd do your head in with trying to pick. Sometimes Flemington can be rails, sometimes it can be down the middle, and I think you just got to play it as you see it.
So let's talk about the market, John, in the All-Star Mile there.
The mighty Top Sport. Here we go. Zaki, $3.40, pretty steady. $5.50 Inspirational Girl, $6.50 Pinstripes, $7. I'm Thunderstruck, $14. Tafane, Lightsaber, $18. West to Brightside, $18. Sierra Sue, $19. Cascadian, $21. Surprising spread in the market. $26 Ice Path, $34 Captivant, $41. Call Sign Mav, $81. plus the rest.
So four horses, single figures here, Jason. Is it that open? Or do you think it's you can narrow
Look,
it down?
I've narrowed it down to you've not mentioned the 4 horses there. I think Pinstripe's the one who's huge unders. I can't get it anywhere near the $7 and been backed in off a unlucky run in the Guineas. But does that necessarily mean it would have won the race and sustained a long enough sprint to win that race? I'm not sure. It's a very nice horse, but it's thrown in the deep end here against some A graders. Look, I've got this down as 2 winning chances. I think Zaki and Inspirational Girl out of that lead up of the 2. Sure, I think the price is a bit inflated because Zaki's drawn 15. I think it's a perfect gate for it.
I was going to ask that. Do you think he gets across or?
Yeah, well, look, I think. Look, you've got a great jockey. You've got Jamie Carr on board. I think Streets of Avalon and Call Sign Mav are going to go forward. I think I don't think she'll sit outside lead on Zaki, but she has got the horse under her to do it if the speed isn't too quick. But I am expecting a pretty strong tempo here. So look, I'm banking on her getting in. If he gets caught 3 wide the trip, that's how he's vulnerable. But look, he's going to run a strong 1600. He was a bit susceptible first up. They'd set him for the Canterbury Stakes, the 1300 metre race. It was a heavy. They brought him down for the mile first up. So they wanted to go 13 to 16. So he's had that hard hit out. He was a little bit vulnerable on that first up run. He's absolutely peaking here his form since he's come to Australia, since he ran that 6 in that Doncaster, I mean, it's just outstanding. There's hardly a horse that's beat him. I'm absolutely amazed that we're getting 340 with top score, 365 and pushing it to 360. It looks like a trend that might continue. I think at that price, it's a bet every day of the week. The only thing that can beat it, I think, is if it has a horrendous run in transit. But she's just got this amazing ability to either sit outside lead or when horses are wide, they just still fine for her. It's extraordinary how she does it. So look, I think he's an amazing bet. For me, the only danger is Inspirational Girl. She's a quality mare. This blinkers went on last start. She was able to take up a closer position. As I said, I do anticipate the speed being on here, and from 4, I think D Lane will get her in a really good spot. There'll be a few horses going backwards at the 300, and she won't be one of them. She runs a very strong mile. She's going to get a very cosy run in transit. So if the race shape pans out for her, she's going to be right in the finish. I'll be backing both heavily and taking my chance on the others. If you like, I'm Thunderstruck. Don't be put off by 1. Flemington Mile, you can win from 1. You won't get trapped up. They'll fan on the turn. Things, as I said, there's a few horses in this that shouldn't be there. It'll open up. If he's good enough, he'll win. I'm just pegging him just below those top 2. Love the horse. Think he's great, but still hasn't won at weight for age. His big wins, his big runs have been on the limit and handicaps. Acknowledge he was a good run last start. Of the others, I thought Sierra Sue was huge overs at $21. I'm not sure why. She's a consistent mare. Was unlucky in the fee and at over 1,600 at weight for age in the spring. Proven at Flemington. She just keeps knocking up and running decent races. I thought at $21 she was decent value. And I know PD is of the same thought here. Call sign Mav, it's beyond me why it's $50. 2,000 back to 1,600 here on speed. Won Group 1s in the past. It's it could run a race, and there's others in there like Tafane. I just think she's a bit below these. Not a target race. Mr. Brightside, it is a target race, but weight for age against Saki and Inspirational Girl, I don't think he's up to them. So for me, again, a 2-bet strategy, but it'll be one with a high confidence. I think at the prices at $6 and $3.50 mark for Zaki, they're bets every day of the week.
I think Zaki's probably fairly priced. I'd like to see it a bit longer, but not much in terms of, for me, be able to get on it. It's my top pick. I do have Inspirational Girl second pick. I don't think it's necessarily at a price that I could back it at. I'm very much against at the prices currently. I'm Thunderstruck and what's the other one there? Pinstripe. Pinstripe I'll be heavily opposed to it at the current price at 5-1. Look, I think apart from the favourite, I'd like to get on the favourite. But I'm definitely going to be backing Call Sign Mav at 50, 60 to 1. I mean, I think that's a tremendous price. It should be a lot shorter than that, in my opinion. I think Sierra Sue's good odds, as you've alluded to, and I would even be chopping out on Tafane, who I think will get a good run. And it does need things to go its way, for sure. But the Call Sign Mav is just huge win and place value for mine. And admittedly, I mean, it's big odds, so you're not going to be betting, huge amounts on it, but it'd be definitely worth having something win and place it, I'd say. But yeah, for me, my intention is to back Zaki if I can get a couple rolls better than the current market price. Definitely all over Call Sign Mav win and place, and I'll be also making sure I don't lose if Sierra Sue or Tafane win.
Hang on, we've lost him. I just wanted to spring something on him, and we've lost him. I'm sure it'll pop back up. I'm going to spring on him.
This isn't the St. Patrick's Day fashion.
Sorry, I had a Wi-Fi dropout. Sorry.
You're all right. I wanted to spring on you because I've got no interest in the All-Star Miles. It's way too hard for me. Have you looked at the Alistair Clark on Friday night?
I actually haven't, but I'm pretty sure that Castlereagh Kid will be going there. El Patron.
That's the horse. And there's a horse in that race, that War Eternal, that ran in the Ranvet Guineas, and I just was sending a thing, and I just noticed it was $8 in there. Thought Bjorn had it ready for a 2,000 metre race, and if it's not a Moonee Valley 2,000 metre horse, I've never seen one. And Castlereagh, I said, I thought El Patroness was nice and short there. It's just an interesting horse. So anyway,
yeah, I look at the field and I know all of them, and just quickly. I definitely want to be against Castlereagh Kid off that
me too.
Sandown run, and it won the lottery at Caulfield. I tipped Lucky Decision that day at $10. It was heavily backed into sixes. I think it's a chance, but
it's got to be a chance.
It hasn't got a great sprint. I do like the DF and very interesting jockey engagement. D Lane
coming down there, bringing the Animo Converge form against Castlereagh Kid's form. I thought it was very interesting.
He is absolutely flying D Lane at the moment. Anything you're backing with him on, you are giving a bonus.
You're getting your money's worth. All right, that's my Melbourne plug for the week.
Okay, so we've dealt with that. So we've got a strategy for the All-Star Mile. Let's go over to Rosehill for Saturday. We've got an action-packed day, obviously slipper day. We start off with the Ranvet Stakes, race 5. John, what's the market? Short price favourite.
Are you going to talk about the track? Because what they
talk about the track.
Let's talk about the track. So the rails 2 metres. I've only got one other meeting where it's been rail 2 metres in the last 3 years, and that was back in June, where they gave it out as officially a heavy 8. It was more like a dead track, and there was a bit of chop on the inside. So I'm suggesting that I don't think it's going to play much different to what we expected and forecast last week, where you're probably best going to be 6, 7 or wider in the
pretty standard Rosehill.
Yeah, pretty standard Rosehill. So I don't think there's any surprise there. I mean, some people were sort of suggesting, lane 3 out last week, but it was never going to be that. So, the inside was a swamp. Now, interestingly, the track race like it was a sort of a dead to slow track, almost slow, but much better than the heavy, and that was mainly due to the fact of where they went.
They found the right spots. And it's interesting that they haven't gone 3 metres plus, because it's normally sort of goes true 3, 5 or 6, and then 8 if they get really excited. But to only cut it to 2 is weird. You think they probably wanted to push it a little bit further, if anything, but probably scared of a leader's track or something. I don't know.
Anyway, so we've got a short price favourite here, John. Very elegant.
Yeah, here we go. First race, the time-honoured Ranvet Stakes. $1.35, very elegant, $6.50 Montefilia, $8.50 Angel of Truth, $9.50 Emissary, $26, which is just amazing how short it is for mine on top the way it's going. $61 Secunderabad, and shows how weak a race it is.
Yes, so in terms of on taunt, I've marked it 500s.
Yeah, well, you'd have to.
Have I missed something?
No, that's what I just like, and I love the horse, but it's it's amazing that it goes to this grade and it's only $26 in a Group 1 the way it's going. It just shows how bad a race it is.
Watch it come out and win now. Anyway, look, I can't, I mean, I've given a couple of pounds improvement to Very Elegant, and yes, last start wasn't very flattering. We got the chocolates, but look, I can't see it in the conditions of this race what's going to beat her.
The bottom horse can improve a little bit, and the horse from Melbourne looks okay, but I don't. How can Angel of Truth? But something strange would have to happen.
Yeah. So Emissary, just so you know, is in race 8 at Flemington on Saturday, and it's 5-2 favourite as well. So
they'd nearly have to go around in Sydney, wouldn't they, for how bad a race it is for a Group 1?
You'd think so, yeah. I mean, you get 132 grand for second in the Ranvet, and you get 110 for winning at Flemington. So even if they ran third, they get 70 grand. So it's probably worth going to Sydney.
What are the conditions of that race in Melbourne, Jason?
It's a open handicap. It's on the minimum. It's got 53.
Well, they'd be better off at Weight for Age, wouldn't they? In terms of any re-handicap.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? So it's carrying 53 in an open handicap. It's carrying 59 against Very Elegant, and it's only $9.50. Yeah.
I mean, what is it? You said it's 5-2 favourite in Melbourne, did you?
It is, yeah.
I thought it was a mare actually. So it's a 5-year-old gelding. So there is probably he'll be staying in Melbourne, you'd imagine.
Anyway, getting back to this race, look, I think it. What is it? 2 to 5 or something? What price Top Sport again, John?
135 is it? Hang on, sorry. Go on to the next race. I'm too efficient. $1.35.
Okay, so close enough to 4 to 11. I think that's very fair odds. I don't, certainly not suggesting people bet up at that price, but
I shudder at even money, and I agree with you. So I don't.
I mean, they do get beaten, of course, but I think it's better than that.
Montefiore is the only horse I think that can beat it.
Yeah, and I've sort of marked it around 10 to 1. So.
And that's probably that's got to be its price.
Give you an idea of the favourite. Anyway, let's move on. That was
the
pretty
Rosehill
simple.
Guineas.
So on to the Rosehill Guineas, John. What's the market?
Here we go. Even money, $2.05 for Animo, $3.50 Converge, reigniting their battle from last start. $5.50 Profondo, the huge query runner. $9 for Got You. $31 Simba. $34 Sword Point. $51 Raging Bull. $61 Mediaro. $151 Three Wise Men.
What a race!
What a race indeed. I mean,
the map's really made it a better race too, right?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think here? You think Profondo might try and push forward now? And
well, they have to, I think. And the way it raced the other day, like Nice and Keen, I think up to 2,000, they'd be mad to try and restrain it. They probably just got to let it roll forward and find a spot. I don't think they're going to go quick. And even if they do, it'll, the first 4 might clear out. There should be spots there.
And how do you see the form here, John?
I think it's very scary from a betting perspective because I would imagine that Converge and Animo are going to settle very close to last and second last, and then it's a battle of tactics, and you've got to try and work out whether Profondo, you're going to get a price probably about Profondo, whether you want to be really forgiving of its poor setup and the run that it had to endure last start and try and bounce off that. Forgot You's there. It's a scary horse. And gets the right run, so it's in the race too. But then, who gets the drag up? Does Converge? If Converge gets a sit up and chimes in, Animo's going to struggle to run it down. It's just a great race. I can't find any sort of betting edge at all, personally. I just think it looks a really tactical affair, and everything seems pretty well priced.
I think the 2 favourites dominate. I think you're right. I can't see a betting edge. The only thing I would say is I'm against Profondo at current prices. I think it's too short.
I think you'll get longer. The only thing that'll probably keep it a little bit shorter is Bowman and the map, but I think you'll get maybe $7 or $8.
So Robbie Dolan sacked there. Is that?
I think he got sacked about 73 centimetres out of the gates.
Yeah. I mean, not sure it was his fault last start, but anyways,
it was obviously an underlying, current there and any sort of it's weird. Those sort of situations, I think they're nearly better off giving Robbie a riding fee or something, or giving him something if it wins and just say, listen, this is what's going to happen. These colts are worth so much money, and it's just strange the way they do things like that in those little stables. But anyway,
my preference would be, I think. My preference would be Animo over Converge, but in saying that, I'm not suggesting people sort of...
I agree with you because it's more adaptable and it can sustain a run longer. If Converge has to take off or doesn't get a drag up, it's going to be very vulnerable at the end of 2,000, whereas you'd assume that an Animo will just keep coming. So I was probably more in the favour of Converge last time, whereas this time Animo's going to need Converge to get a very nice run to not be able to get over the top of him, I would imagine.
Take your pick, punters, I think. Let's move on to the George Ryder over 1,500 metres. What's the market?
George Ryder, Forbidden Love, Airborne, $3.30, Moanga, $5, Collet, $6, $7, Private Eye, Drawn Gate, 1, very interesting, $14, Halal, $14, Law of Indices, 21, Banker's Choice, 21, Hungry Heart, 34, Dalasand, 34, Colding, 34, Riadini.
You can back Private Eye with me at $7. Look, I think the horse has obviously got talent, but I think it's better suited.
Handicap mile at Ranvet.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Mwanga improve substantially here. I think the race is between Mwanga and Forbidden Love. I'd put Mwanga in front of Forbidden Love, and Colette looks like the default third pick. I mean, it was seemingly a little bit disappointing, I think, last start. Looking at, depending on how you look at it. I mean, I think around about 8 or 9 to 1, Colette's probably about a fair price. It's shorter than that now currently, but look, for me, I'm a little bit. There's 1 or 2 negatives now for Forbidden Love in its profile now going into this race for me, and that's what marks it sort of second pick. But for me, Mwanga in front of it.
I agree with you. I think Mwanga's got the least convictions and had the nice fresh setup and perfectly prepped to run very well here, whereas Forbidden Love can continue to run well. It's a bit like Shelby 66. How many times can they go to the well and keep coming up shrumps? But she does have a nice gait and no doubt runs well. I agree with you that I don't think Colette's going that well, to be fair. And I think Private Eye probably, won't be too worried about winning Saturday, but will run well. Just likely to find dead ends in the conditions against. Halal's interesting, back in distance a little bit. I thought it was a little bit plain there last time, but he's just an interesting horse coming into the fold here. And if Law of Indices wins, you'll see me jump off the Harbour Bridge after overcommitting last start and it staying in the gates and pulling up lame. And now it finds it a lot harder race. If it salutes here, I'll be inconsolable. But I think it's short enough too at $14 off its last run. It went very poorly, but I think Mwanga is the safest play for sure.
So I was going to say, just in terms of map, Riadini looks like it might get control here, John, which sort of makes it a different race for Forbidden Love.
It does, but it still should get that really nice, like it's got that turn of foot when it gets covered up too, and it and Mwanga should get perfect runs, and that's what probably makes them extremely hard to beat. That I don't think Riadini's up to them, and they should get a fair shot at the lead whenever they want it.
I mean, I'm with you on Mwanga. I'm surprised they didn't go the All-Star Mile. 1,600 metres Flemington, I think, is this horse's perfect track and distance. So I can only assume
they chasing stallion credentials.
Must want the Group 1 over the All-Star Mile and not the Cash Aquas. I thought the Lovey's second up profile no longer here and Sting out isn't a bad thing. Just a bank. This is a horse. This probably isn't his race. I don't think Group 1 weight for Asian, certainly with Jay Ford on, is a bet. But Banker's Choice was a huge run in the Blamey. Its sectionals in that race were outstanding. I booked it, ready to back it anyway. I don't think it's a race, but just for going forward, it might be one to watch for.
It's amazing the races horses can find when you just want to back them wherever they go. They find the hardest start possible.
Well, he's flying Moroni, but I think he might be kidding himself here.
Next.
Okay, moving on to the Golden Slipper.
This is easy.
Oh, I very, very rarely marked races $8 the field, and I think I've got 11 between 8 and 20 to 1 or something. Holy crap! Paul's probably got something even. Here we go. Coolangatta $5 off the break, $7.50 Sajardin, $8.50 She's Extreme, $9 the Mighty Best of Bordeaux, $12 Fireburn, $12 Jacquino with the blinkers on, $16 Russian Conquest, $18 Queen of the Ball, $18 Revolutionary Mist, $21 the Black Blue Diamond winner, Dormier, Sebenak 26, 26 Seven Vales, very interesting horse of mine, Charlatan 31, 41 Lady Laguna, 41 the Leader, Rise of the Masses, 51 OJ. I'm not going to worry about the emergencies.
So we've got plenty of speed on here. I mean, this, which you typically expect, I suppose, from a slipper, but map-wise, it certainly makes an interesting race.
Especially if there's a scratching, especially if Sweet Ride gets in the race.
Yes. Well, and Semyon as well has got plenty of speed. Sweet Ride, we're not going to get that many scratchings, obviously.
No, you wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so. So, look, for me, I'm not with any confidence because I think the map's awful, but I'm still going to back Seven Vales. I think at 30
to 1, the price. It's amazing price.
30 to 1 is just an automatic bet. obviously
the gate could end up a positive. It's a mystery, but like it's not as if you're taking 5-2, is it? It's just a great bet.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the others in the market have got credentials, but for me, it seems to be the one that is most mispriced currently, and so that's where I land in what is obviously a very difficult race. Did you have an opinion on this, Jason?
Yeah, look, I found it really hard. I thought She's Extreme on the 7-day backup.
It's the one with the She Will Reign, perfect fitness, loves the wet skipper. It's going to get the right draw. It's just got a bit of timing about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, I just thought I went looking for a filly, and I
agree with that too. Fillies are
maybe
stronger.
her. I could forgive Russian Conquest in that 7 Vales race, guys. I don't know what you thought. I thought it was in the bad part of the track. Maybe
they're historic that stable for doing that, for just sending a horse out. But gee, it was weak late, and 7 Vales went quick and ridden out of its comfort zone. Second start in a race, it was just it's going to improve. But if it wasn't $16, I'd tell you you're insane. But it's it's that sort of race.
I think I'll just go back to that Ranvet win. It was it was dynamic, and I thought it should have won. I won't tell Johnny that it should have won the Williams. Then it was 6 weeks. But I'm just trying to think of like how I excuse it. It was 6 weeks between runs on a heavy 10 with a
trial.
So I just thought maybe and Dormier. I mean, I can't blame him tipping at the side. I think Epaulette's in Turkey, but it's done nothing wrong. Blinkers went on. I don't know if the Blue Diamonds formed.
Would you rather be on Jacquinot or it, though, with the blinkers on coming out of that race, considering what he'd had against it?
I can't back Jacquinot at the price. I always think it's overbet. For me, just this stable, illustrate the merits out of was out of Parables, or want to surround, handle the wet. If it's wet, and if this won at $25, I wouldn't say how the hell did that win. I'd be like, why didn't I have something small on it? So that's the reckoning, but not really low confidence, but they're the ones I could have a bet on. What a tough race.
If it was a dry track, I'd be betting up on Best of Wardo just because it's the only horse that's shown me it's got a bit of X factor, and I don't think 1,200 is an issue for this horse at all. But as it stands, it and She's Extreme just look like they have the nice setups, and I agree with Paul 1,000,000% that I think I marked it like $12, 7 Vales. So no moral, but a silly price.
Yeah, it's one of those days where outside Very Elegant, which is the obvious. It's hard.
Well, it doesn't get any easier in the Galaxy, does it?
Doesn't get any easier in the Galaxy, and that's what we're on to now. So John wants to mark it here.
Okay, here we go. Isotope, the mighty Isotope, $3.80, $8 away game, $10 Big Parade. Amazingly, Jesus, it's come a long way. Big Parade, $10 Brooklyn Hustle, $10 Overpass, $11 Palele. Shelby 66, $11, $13 in the Congo, 15 Malkovich, 17 with the blinkers on Malkovich. I don't know how much faster they think it can go. $17 Ballistic Lover, 17 Jamea, 17 Rule of Law, 18 Menage, 26 Bella Nipotina. I feel like I've read 30 horses out. Bellucci Babe 41, absolutely flying. 41 Splint Text, 201 Delexio, should be in a midway somewhere.
Well, they're going to be willing here again. It looks like a speed on, doesn't it, from the outset? So
Malkovich blinkers on. It's going to break the sound barrier.
Blinkers on, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, blinkers on. Yeah. Look, I think that the best way to summarise this race currently is that Isotope's too short.
It has to be, doesn't it?
I think so.
Even though it looks like if it's ridden a little bit quiet, it's got the turn of foot to overcome it. But where the hell is it going to be from that draw? They're going to go so fast that it's just such a hard race to have a lot of confidence in. I don't think
exactly.
380 in this race.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is I'm not saying it's not a chance. I think it's one of the genuine chances, but at 380 it's too short for mine, and at that price I'd be laying it. Or even
can Shelby win
7-2? Look, Shelby's one of the chances that I've come up with here in the race. I think it's a very open race, like the betting suggests. In terms of Big Parade is not totally out of it. The stable's going very well. Away game is definitely in this race, I think, and I think I tipped that last time, and it just wasn't quite good enough to get Barabi. It's one of the players. Ballistic Lovers, not hopeless. Look,
What about our little horse there, Jamea? 50 kilos backing distance.
You can have it.
Who's riding it?
I've got unknown. So
it's emergency. Second emergency. Second emergency. Probably doesn't get a run. Second emergency.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? That's what the issue is. Okay, they're
probably Shelby's emergency too. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Yeah. And so, look, even Markovic, with Nash on, I'm not saying these are bets. I'm just saying I think it's probably a touch over the odds. Brooklyn Hustle's a contender. Polelli and Overpass are contenders. It's an extremely open race, this. But look, for me at this stage, I just have to wait and see how the market plays and what the track's doing. But I suppose the two horses, or the three horses, I should say, probably offer the best value profile at the moment, from my point of view, would be Big Parade, Away Game, and Markovic, but only on a very small basis and not confident.
I wouldn't have a clue. This is one of my favourite races of the year. Handicap sprint races are where I think I'm a genius in life, and I have got no idea whatsoever. I think it's impossible.
It's impossible. One point I will call out here, and I don't want to say hate's a strong word, but I have a strong dislike for this horse for different reasons. But Brooklyn Hustle's best runs generally are with a bit of sting out. Yep. It was huge by Malkovich. This looks like a clear target here, second up. I'm not convinced it's a Group 1 horse.
It's not a real Group 1 race, though, is it? Like, you don't have to be a Group 1 horse to win this race.
It's not. But if you go back and look at the win at Morpheville on the soft, where it was just a bit of sting out, it was dominant. In the Moya, when it ran fourth to Pippi, it was unlucky. I mean, things are always unlucky, but I just think bit of sting out, J-Max, Stench.
This is their race.
Could be in the right spot. Like, if it's a silly, I don't even know what price it is, but if
10 to 1.
It's okay. So you wouldn't want to take less than that, but you wouldn't want to take less than that.
It's probably only $10 because of James McDonald, but he is the right rider too. I think if you're going to pay a James McDonald tax, these are the races you want to pay it in.
Yeah. But too hard for me.
Yeah, I can't disagree. It's going to be strong.
Yeah, tough race. So we've hopefully found a little bit of
yours is very elegant for the day, Paul. That's your value selection.
No, it's not value. It's $1.35. But I'm just saying that I'd be backing it at $1.40, $1.50 myself. But that's me, and I'm not recommending other people do it if you don't feel comfortable with that price point.
You know what I do? I'd take the double into. It's sad that it goes before it, but you go the double into 7 bales at 33s and hope the $1.35 shit gets rolled and then it wins at 33s. And they're my sort of favourite goes.
There's $1.50 around town. Like,
is it
very elegant? Yeah, very elegant. $1.50. I'll be taking it large.
It's a little multi-banker.
Should be a track gallop.
It's a sad day when you tipping something, but I mean, I think we've highlighted plenty of other value on the day and a couple of weaknesses.
You're going to need luck. It's that sort of day, right?
You're going to need some luck. I suppose hopefully punters can get some gold again, and we can keep the ball rolling because we've been doing very well. Of course, our sponsor Top Sport there, John.
Hang on.
If you want
to
just bring the slide up. Given that there are Group 1s tomorrow, and it's likely, I'm not sure, I haven't confirmed this with Tristan or not, but there could be a 20,000 early win limit and a 50,000 late limit. If not, certainly 10 and 25. You've got best of options. You're getting these prices and these limits from the time they go up, punters. So make sure you have a Top Sport account if you don't already have one. And that's about it for the show, I suppose. Does anyone else want to offer?
Don't forget War Eternal Friday night. I'm sneaky confident that horse runs a race there, even though it's ducking down from Melbourne. I think it's really well placed.
I'll be having a really good look at that race because I backed it when it won 2 starts back in Sydney, and I like the win. So I'll be going through that race in depth. I might post something on Twitter. Just keep punting.
Good to me.
I'll have a look at Friday night.
I'll be awaiting it with bated breath.
We'll see you guys. We'll see John anyway on Monday for the review, and good punting for the weekend, punters.
Good luck. Happy Slipper Day, everyone.
See you guys.
Where's this goddamn thing? Outro. Bye.